Yo, what's going on out there, YouTube family? This is Sam Leggett here representing Team JVS. I am back here again for another movie review. This movie is coming out officially now. Matrix 4. I'm talking about Matrix Resurrections. It's coming out officially on Wednesday, the 22nd. I wanted to give you guys my clear and concise feelings about it because I think that a lot of you guys were really worried that I felt a way about the film, or that I didn't like it, or maybe I did like it, and you wanted to get something a little bit clear. So this is my non-spoiler review for The Matrix Resurrection. So let's go ahead and kind of break it down. What did I think about the film? Did it work for me? Did it land for me? It landed. It did land. I think that the very first act of this film is going to really trigger, entice, and make a lot of you guys feel a way in a good way. It's very meta. It's very outside of the norm of what the Matrix that we conceivably perceive. But at the same time, simultaneously, so many different Easter eggs of the past and what was done and what was. But it begs to question, what did you really see? And what is real and what possibly isn't? And it plays with that idea in a way that makes this feel like an authentic story, because unlike before, in this film, they have some new characters, and they also are doing some things with the older characters that you wouldn't expect. They allow characters like, you know, Thomas Anderson and, Carrie Ann Moss's character to act, to have lives, to not be what we perceive them to be. And they play with that idea in a very interesting prospect. But they also add new characters in Yaya and in Jessica, in Bugs. And we've already seen the trailers, and presumably this is Morpheus, but not in the way that we perceive. And I thought that the character Bugs was awesome. I loved what they did with her character. I loved, um, you know, why she's in this, how that this film is very fundamentally different from a time standpoint, as well as from a technological one. If you see this middle image and see Mr. Anderson presumably walking down the street, you can see that there's more to that diner that he's going into than what you believe. And also, if you look at this picture right here of Yaya, um, what is that streaming down from the shower steam? You know, different things and different nuggets that Lana Wachowski was able to put in this film, um, to not only pay homage to what we know from the past, but also add something new and atmospheric. Now, the things that I'll say that are possible negatives is that this isn't the most action packed of the bunch. Like, in terms of action, this is probably the least out of all the films that have come out. There's not a lot of action in this one. I think that Matrix Reloaded probably had the most amount of action, a lot of high stakes. I think that the third Matrix movie, the beginning of it was like basically the fight of Zion, so to speak, and then the third act probably had one of the best fights of history. Like, I mean, it's a Superman fight. Then the Matrix One, I mean, it is a action-packed drama extravaganza. It's a classic, right? This one, what it does something very real and very different, because I didn't expect where the direction of this film was going to go, nor did I expect anything about what they thought they were trying to do, because there are certain characters that remind you of characters that you think you've seen before, but you don't really know what's really happening. And I love the fact that this is a very good, extravagant story. And again, the technological advances and why they're what they're doing with time, or even like I said, even though the action isn't out there, the story and the progression of how they're using visual effects and stunt coordination and practical effects are there. Like this scene right here, this is heavy on CG, But then there's another scene where you see um Mr. Anderson jumping off of a cliff with somebody else, and that's actually humans jumping off a cliff, or jumping off of a ledge. Or there's a sequence where Yaya is having a hallway sequence fight with the character Bugs, and it goes from a straightforward to a horizontal to an inversion in one shot. But then some of the thing about this from a cinematography standpoint, this wasn't shot in film. This is shot in digital. So some of those moments where it was ultra realistic, it looks really blurry, and when shots or gunfire is going through, it doesn't look as authentic. It feels a little different than it should. It doesn't feel like the Matrix at time, and it's not supposed to. The thing I'll say about this, and I know I'm going all over the place. I normally don't do this, but there's a reason why Lana chose to shoot this in digital. There's a reason why this doesn't feel like the Matrix that we know. And it all is also connected to the story. And even the meta aspects of the beginnings of it, there's nothing about that outside of the name, The Matrix, would make you believe that this is a Matrix movie. But there is a crazy opening shot, and there's some crazy things that they're doing. And the back half, they start to go down a road that, oh man, you guys are gonna get so excited about. I really cannot wait for people to talk about it. I just don't know if what is in this film is enticing or exciting enough for people to garner a lot of, viewings in terms of theater versus seeing this digitally, because this is a simultaneous release. This is going to be released out on HBO Max as well as in the theaters simultaneously. So because of that, I don't know if somebody's like, "Oh, should I look at Spider-Man or should I look at The Last Duel or should I look at The Matrix 4?" Like The Matrix 4 will be the only selling point for this, because it's like once somebody sees it and the punchline's there, you're gonna want to go see it again. I can promise you that. Like you're gonna be like, "Oh man, what did I just miss? What did I just see?" But it's very fundamentally different than the prospect of what the Spider-Man No Way Home is doing. And I don't mean to compare, but they're coming out around the same exact time. Like Spider-Man's already done amazing amount of money and is still tracking pretty well. Whereas the Matrix, with this one, like there's so much story here. There's so many things that they're doing, and the meta aspects of it are going to be very enticing for Matrix fans. But for regular ongoers, I don't know how you guys are going to perceive what they're doing with these characters to be merited. I don't know if you guys are going to be like, well, there's not enough action in. I don't know if you guys are going to be like, well, this is not what I thought this was going to be. But for me, I loved it. I am a fan of the Matrix franchise. I love the difference. I felt like this might be, from a story standpoint, probably my second favorite. Like I love Reloaded in terms of action and as a film, but this one had a more clear, concise story. This actually had a progression with the characters. It's also from a real thought-provoking side of things. This is the first time I've really had to think since the original, and I love that aspect about this film. So I would say that I'd rank this at a 8 out of 10. Maybe, yeah, I'll rate it at a 8 out of 10. I actually really did enjoy the Matrix Resurrections, and it does live up literally to the name. And I can't wait for you guys to tell me how you thought about it. There are some amazing sequences in the third act that I really can't wait for you guys to go over. We can break down. We will be possibly doing an open discussion about it. When you guys are seeing this, I just got done with a Spider-Man discussion, as you can kind of tell. But again, I don't want you guys to believe that, because No Way Home has so much action and nostalgia and crazy event making things, this is in its own right something very monumental, and it is connected to certain things that you guys have seen, whether it is this preview demo, whether it is what we've seen in the past with the Animatrix, whether it is what they're going to possibly do next. This film opens up a huge door that I cannot wait to walk through. That's all I'm going to say for now. Definitely go and check out The Matrix Resurrections. I think that you're going to love what they are selling, so to speak. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you guys soon. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell button. And again, we've got some open discussions that are coming up really soon, and I can't wait for you guys to check them out. Peace, guys. Filing out the top of I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline. Ain't nothing on my